from seeing it a second time out of fear of their health. So, sit back, strap yourselves in, and finish your conversations. Yes, I do mean you two there in the middle row. Yep, stop talking. And get ready for a night full of laughs, tears, happiness. Hi. Why did it cut to me? What happened to the rest of the video? What? What are we going to do now? Do we have a backup? Can we get it rolling again? Oh God. Okay. Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. Hold on. Look. Shiny keys. Shiny key. No? Fine. What about this guy? He's good, right? I love him. No? Tough crowd. We had a little lamb, How to entertain a live audience. Create the illusion of direct eye contact. Is it working? Okay, I'm gonna start drawing a picture and you guys have to guess what it is.
It's a dick!
None of these things are working and we're not getting the video back up. So let's make a deal, okay? How about this? If you come out from behind your screens, I'll come out from behind mine. Deal? Okay, let's do this thing then. Sweet, sweaty French bodies and what? Somebody just danced. Oh, God. Please keep it PG. I'm not going to. But welcome to the How Did We Get Here live show. Thank you all for coming out. How's everyone doing? Okay, no, not all at once. How are you doing? Can you believe I've had no practice? It's all fake, it's all smoke and mirrors. I've lied to you all. It's okay, it's just a joke. Oh, and my other favorite pose to do, where you break it down with the audience. Everything is super serene now. Hi everyone. Jacksepticeye here. I'm gonna start reading you some poetry now. I don't fucking write poetry. Jesus. Oh, and the final pose, my favorite pose, the sexy pose. Or my other favorite sexy pose. Thank you for indulging me. Shut up. Because I was so small, all the drunk people would always try and get to me. They would always try and make fun of me. They'd come up hammered going, "Ah, Shawnee. Fierce fucking small, aren't you?" And I'd just stand there going, "Bitch." How dare you? I was quick, I was witty, I was fast. And I think that that's the first time I ever made a room full of people laugh. I wanted more.
In Clon, when I was a kid, it was very, very religious. Really religious town. Most of Ireland is, and really was back then. So each weekend, we would go to church. We would go to mass. And each weekend, as a 10-year-old, I kind of got a little bored. You know, you go to church often enough, you know what's happening. It's the same thing every week. You know he's not really turning water into wine. It's not real magic, Mom. So I decided I was going to spice things up a small bit. I decided I'm going to become an altar boy.
Woo!
Yeah, oh no, it's not that type of story. Jeez, I know there's a reputation, but you have to pay a lot more money to see that show. But in church, as an altar boy, that's when I had my most embarrassing experience of my entire life. I started young. In church one weekend, okay, I'll paint you a little picture. Say, this is the priest. Okay, short priest. Me and some of my friends would be kneeling over at the side of the altar, doing our thing, me and one of my best friends, and two guys on the other side. And we would just be there, heads down, praying to God, trying not to get in trouble. Okay? And then each time, during communion, you know, the priest is doing his thing, you know, talking to God, mad respect. We'd be kneeling down, and during communion, the collection plate would go around. You know, to collect money, keep the church in business, keep the lights on, keep God happy. And I've seen this done a million times. I knew exactly where the collection plates were, I knew exactly what I was doing. They were always over here where the baptismal font was, kind of like where these people are. Hi. Baptismal font doesn't fucking wave. Stay in character! They were always over here, and the priest looked at me, getting ready to go to get the collection plates. You got this, my son. Got you, fam. Oh shit. They're not there. Where are they? My friends didn't care. They were over at the side just going... And I stood there, frozen. Everybody in town looking at me, because half the town would always go to church every single weekend. All eyes on me, and I could hear what they were saying. Because the town was so small and we all knew each other, I could hear what they were saying. Ah, that McLaughlin young lad. Not the brightest, is he? As I stood there, frozen in fear, all eyes on me. Kind of like you're doing right now. Okay, childhood memories, repress them, move on. All of a sudden, my sister's husband's father, that's right, he came out of one of the seats and came up and had the collection plates in his hand. I have no idea where he got them. He must have pulled them out of his arse. He hands me the collection plate. I give it back to him. And he goes around and collects the money. And do you know what his name was? Jimmy Christie. J. Christie. Jesus Christ himself came down to me. Xavier. Everyone say hi to Xavier. Okay, Xavier. So, since you were going to play Pokemon for us here right now, you are going to be our YouTuber, okay? This is your moment to shine, and this is going to be your lovely audience, alright? Okay, so, Xavier, do you have a YouTube name?
The Bingham Kid.
The Bingham Kid. Okay, I like that. That sounds good. So we're going to have to give you some support, okay? So I want everyone to start chanting. So we're going to chant for Bingham Kid! Bingham Kid! Bingham Kid! Because what I thought was going to happen was that I'd grow up in a small town in Clon, I'd move to a slightly bigger town to go to school, and then I'd start doing music, go to college, become a drummer, and go to the city or something, and my life was going to work out. But that didn't happen. When I went to college, I suddenly realized that I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't capable. My brain couldn't keep up with the things that were happening. Everybody else in my course, everybody else doing the projects were phenomenal at them. They all understood music theory already. They were all able to do it really, really fast and really, really well. And I felt incredibly dumb. I had no idea how to do any of the things, and I was too scared to ask anybody for help. So I didn't go back to college for my third year. I left after 2 years. I became very heavily depressed. I moved to the log cabin in the middle of the woods, and I completely lost myself. I had no idea where my life was going. I had no goals, I had no dreams, I had no aspirations. All I had to buy my time was drums and my video games, and I didn't even want to play those. I was completely lost. Till one day, my family decided that we're going to get the internet in the cabins. And I looked into a website called YouTube. And watching YouTube at the start was crazy because I just really liked video games. And at the time, I was playing Battlefield 3 a lot. And I became pretty good at the game. I was decent. I knew what I was doing. I knew all the maps and everything, but I wanted to get better. So I ended up looking up a YouTuber called Level Cap Gaming, and he was playing a lot of Battlefield. But the thing that blew me away was that here was this guy playing video games in his room, and all these people showed up to watch him play. This entire community of people, of like-minded individuals, all came out to watch him play video games. And I finally felt like I had a place where I belonged. A place where I felt welcome. A place where I felt safe. A place that had the same kind of thoughts that I did and liked all the things that I did, because none of my friends liked video games. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to use the Jacksepticeye name, throw my hat into the ring and make a YouTube channel because I wanted to do that for people. No one knew better than I did at that time what it felt like to feel like an outcast. To feel like you were a nobody, to feel like you had nowhere to go, no goals, no aspirations. So I wanted to create a place where people felt safe, where they felt welcome, and felt like they could actually share their own thoughts with each other without feeling judged. But before any of that took off, one game in my teenage years stood out to me more than any other game. Because here I was, at this time in my life, overcoming the biggest life obstacle that had ever been put in front of me. I had no idea how to do it, and I was doing it in complete isolation. And that game became my favorite game of all time, which is Shadow of the Colossus. So since that game means so much to me, and during my teenage years, just like Pokemon before in my childhood years, I thought it'd be fun if one of you came up on stage to play Shadow of the Colossus. And a newspaper decided they were going to do an article about the top 10 most influential Irish people.
Oh!
At number 10 on this prestigious list was the president. At number 9 was Bono.
I don't know who that is.
At number 8 was your boy. Now, this was super cool. Nothing like that ever happened before, but I tried not to take it too seriously because it was just a tabloid newspaper. I didn't know how many people would take it seriously or even how many people would read it. Till one day, the news called me. The national news got wind of this article. It's what they do. They're the fucking news. They saw this article and decided to call me. And a man with the most Irish name on planet Earth, named Kieran Malooly, he called me. And now, Kieran sounds like an Irish Kermit the Frog. So he called me and said, how are you, Shawnee? Saw the article you did in the paper and thought it was great. Just wondering if you wanted to do an old interview for the news. I said, no problem, Kermit, I'd love to. Again, nothing like this ever happened before. Cool opportunity, nothing to lose. Why not? Let's do it. But at the time where I was living, in Athlone, we had had the worst weather that we had had in years. It had been raining so badly that the entire town was flooded. The river that I live next to, the River Shannon, decided, hey, bro, I'm too full of rain. I'm just going to burst my bank and flood the whole town. Cool? So since it had been raining so badly, me and Kieran decided we were going to meet outside a place called Sean's Bar.
Of course.
Another one, I told you. Fun fact about Sean's Bar, it's the oldest pub in Europe.
Wow.
It goes back to the year 600 AD. I know, trust the fucking Irish to keep a pub alive for that long. We decided we were going to meet outside there. It was raining really bad, so I decided, okay, I'm going to put on my little welly boots. I'm going to grab my umbrella, or my short priest. I'm going to go outside and wait for Kieran to show up. We decided we're going to meet at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock came, Kieran didn't show up. I thought, no, that's fine. Bad weather, he's probably stuck in traffic. 2:15 came, no sign of Kieran. 2:30 came, no Kieran. 3 o'clock came, and I decided, fuck this, I'm not getting wet. So I went inside and I gave Kieran the benefit of the doubt. He's probably dead. Only logical explanation. Bad weather, tsunami probably got him. So I called the number that he called me from, and a lady picked up the phone. And I asked, oh, is Kieran here? Like, is he coming to do the interview? Maybe he's just late. And she said, oh, no, Kieran came to Athlone. He's in town. He came to do the interview, but he decided that he wasn't going to do that one, and he's going to do a story about a lady whose garden got flooded. Okay. So, you called me, telling me, blowing smoke up my ass, telling me I'm the 8th most influential Irish person. And you decided to ditch me to do a story about the fucking rain? That is the most Irish thing that has ever happened to me. But you know what? It was fine. This thing, it didn't really have any bearing on me because the channel was doing so well. I was so happy with it. I was having so much fun. But there was one game on the channel that was doing better than anything else. A game I've done more episodes of than any other game. That game, of course, being I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here because life didn't want me to be here. At a very young age, in my teenage years, life got all up in my face. It got very, very hard for me, and I thought I was going to crumble under the weight of it. I didn't know where I was going in life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to waste away in this cabin in the middle of the woods. But the thing about that is, we all go through our troubles. Whether it's big or small, we're all going through the same battles. We are all going the same way because we are all people at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter where you came from. The reason that I get up here and I talk about my story is not to brag about all the cool things I've done or how great I am. And I know I'm literally talking down to a lot of you. But I hope it never feels like that because I never forget where I came from. I did not come from anywhere special. I did not come from anywhere exotic or crazy or anything like that. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what the colour of your skin is, whether you're gay, straight, bi, or anything in between.
Yay!
What matters is that at the end of the day, we are all people. We may all look different on the outside, but on the inside we are all the same. And we are all going through our own things. So what's important to remember is that we actually start treating each other like people. We treat each other like human beings, and we start building each other up instead of tearing each other down all the time.
All the way, going on, keep going on, all the way, all the way, on time, all the way, all the way, hey, all the way, all the way, on time, all the way, going on, keep going on,
Pour Jacksepticeye!
C'est ça les accords?
Oui,
Allez, vous commencez comme vous voulez. Écoutez.
Running around the streets.
En plus, il y a des paroles. Ouais, c'est ça. Les paroles, c'est chaud. D'ailleurs, avec ta voix,
Ouais.
Ok, là.
Vous commencez comme vous voulez.
Can you see this? Écoutez le ukulélé.
Ok.
Oh non, putain, on n'y arrive pas.
Running around the street of sound.
I'm all alone. I'm all alone.
Can you see
Can you see me? No lights around. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
What is my life?
Oh! Am I doing this right? Oh! I just realized that I might not know what hell's going on. Fool me once, fool me twice. We're still gonna try. Oh, we're gonna carry on. Oh, she's gonna get these calls of mine until champion. What is my life? Oh! I'm gonna do this right. Oh, I'm gonna do this right. Down into the red river we go. Living in shadows. This is reality, and life is just a dream. This is best you can be. What is my life? Oh, am I doing this right? Oh, I just realized that I might not know what the hell's going on. Fool me once, fool me twice. We're still gonna try. Oh, we're gonna carry on. Oh, this makes this voice of mine. I'm still champion. What is my life? Oh, my life, my life. Oh,
Avec les lumières du téléphone.
ouais, putain.
On a abusé là.
Let's go. Quelqu'un les paroles, please.
Et refaites le refrain.
Ok,
Ok.
ok. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is my life? Oh, am I doing this right? Oh, I just realized that I might not know what the hell's going on. Fool me once, fool me twice. We're still gonna try. Oh, we're gonna carry on. Oh, get rid of this voice of mine. I'm still champion. Oh.